Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Steve. This is the Fandom Show. Have a nephew Paul here with me again, and we're doing a few things today. Mainly, we're following up on our trip a couple weeks ago to the New Orleans Fan Expo, which is a really big Comic Con that they have in New Orleans at the start of every year. What did you think of it?
It was a lot bigger than the ones I'm normally used to, and there was a lot more mainly art stuff than normal, but it was still pretty good.
Yeah, I had a great time too. It was obviously the biggest one that I had ever been to, and for the most part, it was pretty good. Obviously, it got very crowded around the middle of the day when most of the people were there, but it wasn't too hard to move around the place or find a place to sit down. I was really flabbergasted though. There was virtually no security, and this is taking place like 10 days after there was an attack in New Orleans where some people got run down on Bourbon Street. Like, they didn't have bag checks or metal detectors or nothing. And you're talking about a convention where thousands of people are coming through it. I just really blew my mind. I didn't really feel unsafe at any point during the day, but just, yeah, the lack of security was really surprising to me, again, especially given current events. Some of the panels and stuff were neat. There was a Super Mario themed wedding that they absolutely packed that room out for that. He wasn't with me for that, but I went and saw it, and that was a whole lot of fun. The others were kind of neat too. I guess I shouldn't say disappointed, but maybe surprised. I figured with it being a bigger Comic Con that some of the panels would be, I don't know, I guess they were going to be flashier or something like that. Which,
Yeah.
they weren't bad, but they were basically similar to the panels that I've been to at the smaller Comic Con. So, on the one hand, a little disappointing. On the other hand, I was like, I could probably pull off doing a panel at these some years. So, we'll see what happens. But overall, not too bad. Not the greatest experience I've ever had at Comic Con, but not too bad. I did have one awesome thing happen to me when my wife and I got to meet the absolutely legendary Michael J. Fox. That was completely amazing. Didn't get to talk to him, obviously, because you don't get to do that on photo ops, but we did get to meet him. Man, I'll tell you, the photo ops in this show were weird. Typically, when you have a photo op done at a Comic Con, it's a pretty quick process. They lead you in there, the celebrity is there, you walk up, usually get a chance to say hi to the celebrity. You stand next to them, you smile, they take the picture, and then you're out the thing. So it's not meant to be a quick process. But the other Comic Cons where I've done these, it hasn't been quite as rushed as this one was. Like, they were just putting people through so fast, you barely had time to blink. I was like, whoa, did you actually just see Michael J. Fox? Like, that was like, what, all of 3 seconds? So, and the first time my wife and I went through, they accidentally put us in a shot with Michael J. Fox and Huey Lewis, who, of course, did some of the soundtrack for Back to the Future. Now, I have no problem with Huey Lewis at all, but I paid for a picture with Michael J. Fox, and just Michael J. Fox, and I did that for a reason. I don't really want to get into my specific reasoning for that, but he's the guy that I wanted. So, when I realized they'd screwed it up, I went back and I got it fixed. I didn't think to take a photo of the one that we had with Huey Lewis, or I could have got kind of a freebie, I guess, but the funny thing was that the thing I had on my phone, the confirmation, said it was Michael J. Fox and 2 people. So how they managed to screw that up, I don't know. And then the other photo op I did was with William Shatner, where that was kind of fun, but the person taking the photo gave us, my wife and I, kind of some odd directions about our head placement and stuff. So, I mean, it came out okay, but my thing is, like, you can't really retake them. So if you're going to pay $200 plus for a photo op, you kind of want to get it right. And the ones that I've taken at the other cons have been really well done. This one was... Now, I gotta say, like, this one here with Michael J. Fox, that's a good photo op right there. I mean, that's how they're supposed to look. I'm very happy with this. But the one with Shatner, can you reach it?
This one.
My wife's probably gonna kill me for putting this up on screen. But anyway, so the photographer kept saying, put your head down, but she wasn't really specifying to who. So if you look at this picture, I mean, I kind of look okay, but my wife's got a sort of a weird thing going on there. But it was because the photographer said, put your head down. Now, the plus thing about this is that Shatner's got a great smile on his face, so... not too bad there. And of course, I have a version with my wife cropped out of it where I'm doing the Vulcan thing, and that's kind of neat. So, in the end, it worked. William Shatner, that old, still doing Comic Cons, is awesome. I actually got an autograph from a guy who's in Masters of the Universe, Top Gun, and of course, Back to the Future, because that was our big theme this year. And he's also a 90-something too, so that was a lot of fun to see some of these old guys and experience that. Overall, I would say pretty good. Not stellar, but pretty good. I don't have any regrets. Overall, it was quite a good experience. I'm not sure that I would go back to that specific con, but I'm glad that we did it because it gave us a chance to do things on a higher level and to kind of see how different convention organizers handle the whole thing. So I picked up a few things at the Comic-Con. If you could hand me that. Hello, Kevin. It's my cat causing problems here. Sorry, y'all. It's okay. He's just hanging out. So this is the Last Ronin. As you can see at the bottom, it's a special New Orleans edition. It's a 500 copy limited edition. It's really cool. Last Ronin, of course, is a Ninja Turtles comic series set in the future where all the Ninja Turtles are, well, in the original Last Ronin, all the Ninja Turtles are dead except one, and it's just kind of his story about dealing with being the only one left and avenging the loss of his brothers, etc., etc. There's been some offshoots and expansions, but generally considered to be one of the best Ninja Turtles comic book series out there, so that was really cool to pick that up. There was also another one that they had. It was a Joker comic, and it had the Joker on there and Mark Hamill's face and something else. I wish I had the picture of it. That was really, really cool. I almost bought that one.
I think I saw that one.
Yeah, but I decided to go with the Ninja Turtles. But I'm really actually happy with the other thing that I picked up. If you hand me that, please. Take that out of the box.
Alright.
So this, I mean, I'm wearing the Zelda hat, right? So I'm going by a booth at Comic-Con, and he had this. It's an ocarina. I hold it real close. Well, maybe hard to see this light that we have in here, but there is a Triforce logo right down here on the ocarina. I asked the guy, how much is the ocarina? I was going to say, if it was $30 or under, that I would buy it. Well, it turned out to be $35. Alright, I'm not going to be, making trouble over $5. It's cool. I want it. So I got myself an ocarina. And the neat thing about this is you can actually play this thing. It's not just decorative. The mouthpiece is on the bottom, and you use your fingers to cover up the holes and kind of blowing it to make music. This is going to sound terrible, but here we go. See, high-pitched garbage, but there's ways to, of course, learn the fingering and make it sound like actual music. Sort of similar to a flute, but it came with a little booklet on how to play it and how to learn it. So I'll fiddle around with that a little more and hopefully learn how to play the Song of Time from Legend of Zelda, because I just think that would be really cool. But that was my neat little takeaway from Comic-Con. That was a lot of fun. So yeah, pretty fun show. I think, I don't know that I'd go back next year unless I had somebody really, really good that I really wanted to see, but definitely fun experience overall, and getting to hang out in the city of New Orleans for the weekend and have some fun was an absolutely great time. But I think that's enough about Comic-Con for now. Let's talk about some other stuff. Stranger Things Season 5. We still don't have a release date. However, there are some pretty strong rumors floating around on two fronts. Number one, that was a two, whatever. Ha! Number one, Netflix is apparently going to be doing the final season in 2 parts. If you recall, for the previous season, they released, I think, like 6 episodes in July, and the last 2 that fall, I think. Challenging my memory there. So apparently they're going to be doing the same thing this time around. Not necessarily 6 and 2, it might be 4 and 4, I don't know. Rumors are, though, this time around, the first ones are going to drop in October, and the second ones are going to drop in November. Something along those lines should be fine with me. Because, I mean, hey, that's only a month wait. That's not a big deal. I'm ready for Stranger Things, but if it's not going to be into them, that's great. I do hope they don't space it out too much. I was a little bit annoyed last time at the space out between season 4, I think? 4? Yeah. But I think part of that was due to actor availability, and I think the pandemic also caused some stuff going on with that too. So we'll see. But typically, I mean, Netflix has put the final part of Cobra Kai out in 3 different parts, and that's been the whole thing. So anyway, Stranger Things 5, the whole series, will be out this year by the end of the year. Hopefully it'll be awesome, and that the finale does that whole series justice. Recently released was the movie Star Trek Section 31 with the Oscar-winning actress Michelle Yeoh. This one had a bit of a troubled production. It was supposed to be a television series, and I guess they decided that we're not going to do a series, but we've already invested in these actors and built all these sets and stuff, so we're going to make a movie out of it. I had high hopes for it, because, I mean, I love Star Trek. I love Michelle Yeoh, and if you know what Section 31 is, you know there's a lot of great storytelling potential there. Unfortunately, this one seems to have bombed. I've not watched it yet myself, but it's got like a 26% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 4 of 10 on IMDb, so I mean, if you're a Star Trek fan, by all means, give it a shot, see if you like it, but the consensus is that it's not that good, so you might want to skip it. There's a new Masters of the Universe movie coming out this year. Not this year, next year, 2026. If you can believe it, that's almost 40 years since the last one, excluding animated movies, because the last live-action movie was back in 1987 with Dolph Lundgren as He-Man. So the movie that's coming up next year, I think it's got good potential. My concern is that they've cast Jared Leto as Skeletor. Now, I have nothing against Jared Leto. Obviously, he's shown his talent in other movies and what have you, but I don't know. I just can't see him being a good fit for Skeletor. I hope I'm proven wrong. I hope he makes an amazing Skeletor, but
I love Skeletor.
I do too. You know, and a lot of people do. He's an iconic villain, and I kind of have reservations about it. And the other thing was, in the 1987 movie, the best part of the movie by far was the guy who played Skeletor. Because the movie was cheesy as all get up, but he just did a fantastic job chewing up the scenery and made for a really good Skeletor. So hopefully Leto can pull something off and we get a good live-action He-Man movie, because that is something that I and many other people wanted to see for like decades now. Also coming out this year is Alien Earth, which is a new TV series on Hulu because, well, I guess somebody thought we need even more alien stuff. They just refused to let this franchise go. Obviously, you can tell by the title, Alien Earth, that it's going to take place right here on Earth. I don't know. Some of the alien stuff is really good, but some of it is like, what in the heck are you thinking, man? So, I really can't say. I don't know. I think they've kind of beat the alien thing to death a little bit.
Yeah.
I still and, like, think... why go back to Earth? Can we not see, like, some cool alien planet or something like that? Anyway.
Prometheus was still pretty cool, though.
Yeah, I hope I get proven wrong. And it's really good, but I suppose we'll see. That is out on Hulu this summer. Very last thing I wanted to mention on a serious note relates to the allegations, issues going around with Neil Gaiman. Do you know what I'm talking about here?
I do not. I don't know names.
Okay, so Neil Gaiman is was very well known author of fantasy science fiction. He's had a few books turned into movies, and he's got one on, I think, is an Amazon show right now. I think he's got either another one coming out on Amazon or another streamer. But anyway, up until recently, he had a huge fan base, and a lot of people love this guy. And unfortunately, the recent allegations are that he did, let's just say, improper things with multiple women, and leave it at that. And there's been kind of this whole schism in the fantasy community with some people defending him and some people having problems with those people that are defending him for obvious reasons, and it's turned into a bit of a mess. You know, I judge people by their actions, and I don't think that women deserve to be treated the way that he apparently did. And if that is what happened, it certainly appears to be, because we have multiple women telling very similar stories of his behavior. And if you know how it works with people, typically it's very hard for multiple people to keep their story straight if they're telling a lie. So if you have many people giving similar accounts of somebody acting the same way, there's quite a bit of truth behind that. Again, I wasn't present for any of these events. I don't know for sure, but I'm inclined to believe these people. And I think, again, that, you know, people who mistreat women or just other people in general, there should be consequences for those actions. And obviously Neil Gaiman has already suffered some professional consequences for his actions. I think will continue to. As for legal consequences, well, that remains to be seen. But you know, I'm a believer that if you commit the crime, you should pay a penalty for it. So we'll see how it all shakes out. But it's always kind of sad when you see somebody, and I wasn't a fan. I mean, I knew about him, but I wasn't a fan. But it is always kind of sad when you see somebody that you really were a fan of entangled up in something like this, and it just kind of harkens back to that whole thing some people say about never meeting your heroes, which I think that's kind of broad stroke, because I've met a number of celebrities that have turned out to be really, really cool in real life. So they're not all bad, but sometimes you are going to end up with a situation where somebody that you really idolize turns out to be not who you thought they were, and that can be tough to grapple with. So, you know, to the Neil Gaiman people that are out there right now going through all this, I certainly feel for you. And I don't really know. Hopefully this works out as it should in the end, and there can be healing from this, and Gaiman can get the punishment he deserves, and that'll be that. But I don't have a crystal ball, so I don't know. I hate to end on a note like that, but that was the last thing I had on my list. So here we are. I'll be back with a new video actually 2 new videos in the next 2 weeks. I know I've said something like that before. I'm going to commit to it this time. One is going to be about the Joker. I can tell you that right now. That's going to be fun. Not the new movie, but the Joker character. Yeah. And the other one, I'm not going to tell you what it's about, but I will tell you that you are going to like it. So we've been prattling on here for about 15 minutes. I think we're good to wrap up. Did you have anything that you would like to add?
No, not really. I think that's it.
Alright, sounds good. Well, I do thank you guys for watching. We always do appreciate it when you take the time to click that play button. And also, if you haven't already, click that subscribe button. And we will be back next week with more great stuff. Thank you so much.